I'm still making my way through the 2.0 patch of Wuthering Waves. I finished the main story, but I'm still getting through the exploration, side quests, and gameplay challenges. But I wanted to take a quick break from being immersed in this patch to just quickly talk about something that I really like about Wuthering Waves that became even more evident with the release of 2.0. That is, Wuthering Waves is a study on human civilization. You might have noticed in marketing material, there's a terminology used when introducing characters or weapons: post-lament Anthropocene. Of course, we know the first lament brought about wave-worn phenomena like tacit discords, and it occurred over 10,000 years ago. The lament redefined the laws of physics, and now we have the existence of resonators who have special forte abilities. Anthropocene, however, comes from a real-world proposal of a geological epoch defining the time of significant human impact on Earth. More or less, the period of time dedicated to humanity. When you see this term in other languages, it becomes more clear, as these would roughly translate to records of humanity. The way these are phrased come across like a scientific study, or even anthropology. In fact, you may already know that one of the main themes of Wuthering Waves is human perseverance, which also makes the game itself somewhat of a showcase of human civilization. Now, I have been loving the land and the architecture, the beauty of Rinascita, and many people have pointed out how it feels and looks so different from Jinzhou. Not only a manifestation of the cycle of destruction and rebirth in the game's lore, but also marking a rebirth of the game itself for many players. Actually, I also really liked the Jinzhou region. Here we learned something important about the nature of the laments. Not only are most of them extremely local, but the laments are targeting human civilizations. While humanity is being suppressed, not only by the imminent Thermodian threat, but also by these minor laments, nature, however, is flourishing. Jinzhou itself is known as a battleground for centuries, as the front line of the war against the Thermodians, also in a cycle of uprisings and calm. This civilization is largely controlled by military interest, with shipping and mining being two major industries born from the war itself. Researchers build upon older technologies, including technology that was once used to explore the stars. Jinzhou benefits from technological advances related to tactile weaponry, and echoes are largely used for fighting, and that's exactly how players use echoes too at this point in the game. This is a stark contrast to Ragana, where echoes are now used for entertainment and convenience, and we as players too use echoes as gondolas or to listen to music. I found this a surprising parallel to the real world, where technologies that may have been developed or advanced as tools of warfare we now use as like vacuum cleaners. The tub pup, while charming and useful, can't do anything when the narwhal appears. Jinzhou is full of tablets and data chips, but Ragana, where eco development is at the forefront, is a much more organic place, where we are picking up scraps of paper instead of silicon. The story too has become more human and organic. Ragana is free from the threat of the Thermodian War, but instead has created a social hierarchy to define who rules over the people. In Jinzhou, it's quite simple. The military leaders are in charge, and that's how they will survive. But for Ragana, it's very different. I found this juxtaposition really interesting, and it's even more interesting that it's not even a stretch of the imagination that both of these civilizations exist in the same world. In Jinzhou, most people are trained in fighting. Even those without forte abilities are able to use guns and martial arts. In Ragana, however, there are people who call themselves knights despite not actually being warriors. What happens in a civilization marked by peace, where tacit discords are more or less the same level of threat as a beast in the wilderness or a phantom in a ghost story? For Ragana, the Order of the Deep rose to power under the banner of zealous worship of the Sentinel Imperator. It's evident even in Jinzhou how the storytelling is trying to let us see the background, the cause and effect that led to this civilization, and why the people lead the lives they do, including those who want to keep living in society and those who do not. And this focus on humanity has allowed this story to tackle themes of philosophy, psychology, and religion. If anything, I think this has been Wuthering Wave's strength in how it's building its stories around these individual civilizations. The Order of the Deep continually revises and edits its own history, leaving behind ruins of the past. And now the rulers of the people reside in hard, concrete laden buildings, towering above all that came before it. Truly, the city on the hill, the lighthouse in the dark. But we have already learned in previous patches that human hubris has its limits in Solaris 3, and there may have already been subtle foreshadowing of the downfall of such civilizations. So, not only am I really excited for the next part of the main story, which so far in 2.0 has been a beautiful display of intrigue and spectacle, but I'm also looking forward to what will be the next civilization that Wuthering Waves will showcase. Like, what's the capital city of Huanglong like? What will the new Federation bring to the table? Is like a dystopian cyberpunk civilization possible? If anything, I think there are a lot of options here for Kuro Games, and I'm really looking forward to what they will continue to offer for both Rinascita and beyond. Thanks for sticking around for my little gamer ramblings. Like and subscribe for more wuwa content, and feel free to leave comments on what kind of civilization you'd like to see show up in Wuthering Waves. And I'll see you in the next one.